the mountains of Columbia to Pikes Peak, listen to The Mountain Mysteries, a podcast from the Pantry Studio of Chris Slone. The Mountain Mysteries, where true crime meets the paranormal.
A Pantry Studio production.
The following may contain strong language and deals with adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I will be the last to fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. I won't have your name to call. I will be the last to fall.
With over 24% of the 1.9 billion square acres in America alone, the mountains that so many people call home are also host to some of the most incredible mysteries in the world. The missing, the murdered, strange creatures, unexplained lights, and sightings of unidentified objects. These stories may be strange, they may be sad, they may be odd, but they are mysterious. These are the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. And now, live from the Pantry Studio, broadcast to all time zones around the world, with listeners of the podcast in the United States, Canada, Germany, Norway, India, the United Kingdom, and more. These are the Mountain Mysteries Gatherings. Now, your host, Chris Slone.
Well, I hope that you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. Have had one. I'm just now starting to get this voice back. And to be honest with you, I know I was scheduled to go on at 8 o'clock tonight, but I had some things going on, some things happen. Nothing bad. There's been a lot of things going on and a lot of things happening. And sometimes what you think is bad actually turns out to be something good. But I do hope that you have had a great Thanksgiving. I do. And I was, I got a message from a friend. Asked if I was going to go live. And I said, well, it's kind of a case of TMT. I said, TMT. I said, yeah, too much turkey. Yeah. Talk about getting the bird. There you go. Uh, if you'll notice on some of our logos, some things are changing. The Mountain Mysteries, and I'm going to put to rest any rumors right now. The Mountain Mysteries are going to continue. And I don't really see that changing. As you heard from one of our, we got Mr. Voice now, listen to the Mountain Mysteries. The guy's got a set of pipes on him. He's incredible. But yeah, there's going to be a few changes here and there come about, as anything does, because it's progress, it's growth, but it's not progress for the sake of growth. And thanks a lot to Tony for being in the chat, and Jeremy. Hey, buddy, happy Thanksgiving. Love the show. Thanks a lot, Jeremy. Appreciate that. Anybody that listens to the podcast, we appreciate. Now, people are wondering, well, you didn't drop an episode last Friday. You didn't. Yeah, we're taking a little bit of a break for it. We're getting ready to start season 2. And season 2 is going to begin in, I know some of you won't like this. Some of you are like, yeah, okay, whatever. But season 2 is going to begin January 7th. I believe that was the date. Let me double check that. January 7th. That's when the first episode of season 2 will drop. And it's going to be a lot more personalized. It's going to be, the sound quality has improved because, you got to remember when I started the podcasting thing, I was out of practice for quite a bit. Again, things change. Um, Voice tracking is something that some people refer to it as cyber jock or cyber DJing, involving radio stations. And they can be radio stations, with the advent of the internet and the technology that we've got today. Cyber DJing or cyber radio personalities are not uncommon. I would say a good part of them do their work from their own studio. That being said, yeah, it looks as though um, that could be happening with yours truly. And it's something I am excited about somewhat. I always felt that my greatest, the thing that I love doing more than I love being behind a microphone. It can be a lot of fun. But yeah, you might want to keep ear out for that. Of course, we'll give you more information as it comes about, but it's a lot more than just that. It's being on air. It's also doing the podcasting, doing any kind of voice and production work, and we may have some examples for you down the road. But the gatherings is about the mountain mysteries, and we have got. If you've not listened yet, we just had an episode drop. That was a bonus episode, and it was about a lady who on Thanksgiving Day, so many years ago, had passed away. And yes, I'm sorry, I got a cough drop in. It helps clear the sinuses and things like that. Um, and this is like a huge no-no to be live on the air with anything, like a cough drop in or something like that. But I wanted to go live tonight, and there's a reason I wanted to go live tonight. And it wasn't just to talk about the mountain mysteries. It wasn't to tell you about the voice tracking. None of that stuff. It was because this is a really tough time of year for a lot of people. A lot of people love this time of year. They love the holidays. They love getting together with family, and I'm all for that. I love that too. I was privileged today to have some friends over and my daughter and my son-in-law and had a wonderful Thanksgiving with them. My brother, of course. Um, Missed my mom and dad like 3 sheets of hell, and I'm not alone in that. And I know that. So that's why I'm here to talk to you tonight, to tell you that if you are one of these people and you feel so hopeless and helpless, don't. It's okay to reach out for help. It's a good idea if you feel like life's not worth going on, it's a good idea to reach out for help. Matter of fact, I encourage it. I am no prevention. Let's just use the word. I'm no suicide prevention expert. But what I am is a human being who does have this thing that's called caring. Some people call it empathy, whatever you want to call it. I see somebody hurting. If I can do something to help them, then I want to at least try. I'm fortunate. I had 47 years with my parents, with mom and dad. 47 great years. I got to watch what I considered to be a love story play out in front of me that made The Notebook look like a Dr. Seuss flick. And then in 33 days, I lost both of them. January 24th. January 21st and February 24th. Mom left January 21st. Dad left February 24th. Same year. And a guy who's very much like a brother to me named Chris said that's like having both of your knees knocked out from under you. He's right. And sadly, not long after that, he lost his beautiful mom. And I know what that's like. And I've had friends that have lost people along the way. You're not alone. unless you choose to be. I'm hoping that maybe the sound of my voice will encourage you to choose not to be. I've found over the course of my life that if you look around, yeah, you're always going to run across the people that are, they're ass bombs. They're going to pretend that they care, and then when you need them, they're only there. They care to the extent that they care as much as it can benefit them. But not everybody is like that. Not everybody at all. I had a friend that I worked with for years that had messaged me while I was going through one of the most difficult times in my life. I was in Florida, saying my goodbyes to my mom and dad. They're at a military cemetery. And this guy, and I still get kind of teary-eyed message. He messages me and he says, "Hey, I want you to know I'm thinking about you. I want you to know you're in our hearts, you're in our minds, you're in our prayers." And it had been a while since I'd spoken with him. But he was there. And then I had, of course, others, my daughter that was there for me, and so many other people, Angie, Brenda, this list goes on, Tracy, just so many people, and more people that sent me messages, emails, or texts of condolences and thoughts than I ever deserved. There are people out there that care, that are genuine. They care because they care. They don't care because you've got 10 million bucks in the bank. They don't care because you've got a Lambo or a Ferrari. Because believe me, I've got neither one of those, and I really don't require neither one of those. The way I've got this thing figured out is I'm blessed beyond measure. The good Lord, God in his infinite wisdom, has seen to prove his point by using me to many people, because I am one of the few people. I'm one of the few people that I know that really does not deserve those blessings, but yet he loves us enough to give us those things. So you're never alone. And he also places people in our life that from time to time we may not even suspect, but I'm telling you right now, there's somebody out there thinking about you. Now, this happens without us knowing. And maybe that's because we need to put down this thing called vanity or pride or thinking that we can do it all alone. Because let me tell you something. If 50 years and a half have taught me anything, it's that nobody does anything worth doing alone. Nobody. Ego will stand in the way of your dreams. Vanity will stand in the way of you accomplishing wonderful things. I used to be the biggest bitch and diva that you'd ever lay your eyes on. When I was on air, I thought that I was it. Sorry, another. This has something to do with a guy from Sweden blowing into a big horn and singing Ricola or something. I'm not even going to try that, so don't ask. But anyways, back to the vanity thing. I learned really quick to lay that stuff down. And I got to say, when you put down the ego, when you put down the vanity, when you put down anything that keeps you from asking somebody for a little bit of help. And you know what? When I say somebody, this can be a friend, it can be a professional therapist. Therapy is a wonderful thing. My experiences with it differ from most because the first question I was asked was, "Well, how does that make you feel?" Well, how do you think that makes me feel? I just lost both of my parents. My rock, my strength, my compassion, it went out the window. How did they think that would make you feel? So you find somebody else to reach out to, and that's what I'm recommending. Look, the holidays can be tough, but they can also be beautiful. They can be worth it. Don't let yourself put yourself in a position to where you are doing damage to your own psychological well-being. Never do that. Talk to somebody. I've got somebodies. I got people that I talk to. I have several. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing. You don't have to be alone, and you're not. All you got to do is see that you're not alone. Now, thankfully, not everybody goes through this time of year. So, for those of you who are not, I'm very glad. Excuse me. I'm very, actually, I'm tickled. And I'll tell you exactly. Uh, Jeremy brings up a good point in chat. He says, there's more people out there than we know that care and are always willing to listen and talk if anyone ever needs it. And he's right. There's a lot of people out there like that. Tony says that, I know what you mean. We all have, I think that Stephen King wrote it best in The Green Mile. One of the last sentences of the novel has, and I'm sorry, I remember the actor's name that played him, Tom Hanks, but I cannot remember the name of the character and it bothers me. But anyways, this character says, and I'm paraphrasing, this life is a long life. We all each owe one death for living it. There is no exception. But sometimes it carries on, and Lord, that green mile seems, so long. Sometimes it does. But each day, each breath we get is a gift, and we can do something with that. And by something, I mean, it's up to you. If you've got $8,400 in the bank, 8,460 or whatever it is. If you've got that much money in the bank every single day, you get that much deposited into your bank account, and you can spend it however you want. But know that one day that is going to run out. What would you do with it? It's no different. The difference between money and time is money you can make more of. You can't make more time. I used to think that success was strictly determined by financial gain. No, it is not. Success is a lot of things to a lot of people. It's as different to one person as it is the next based on what they want out of life. For some people, success is having a multi-million-dollar home, exotic sports cars, i.e., before mentioned Lambos, Ferraris, Porsche. But for some people, it's just having somebody that really cares. And I think those people are the richest of all. Because when you get somebody in your life, when you get people in your life that genuinely care about you, they don't care about the number of zeros behind your damn bank account. That's ridiculous. They don't care about what you can do for them as long as you show them love and respect. It's those people that I think that are probably wealthier than anybody. There's an old saying out there, and it's been around for as long as I can remember. It was around longer than I've been here. You can't take it with you. That's true. The cars, the house, the money, you don't take none of that stuff with you. It's the people that are really wise that understand that there is something, though, that you do take with you. You take that love. I believe that 100%. You take the feelings and the memories. I would dare to let me rephrase that. I would venture to say that everybody watching this right now has lost somebody at some point that they love, but yet you still remember them. Some of us have lost our dads. Some of us have lost our moms. Some of us have lost both. We've lost brothers. We've lost sisters. We've lost loved ones that we care about growing up. I know I have. Funny thing, though, I still remember them. Keanu Reeves, y'all know him. Everybody knows Keanu. I mean, guy has got to be one of the top actors in Hollywood. He's got every right to be a jerk. And yet, from all accounts, and I've never met him, I wish I would. I wish I could. But from all accounts, Keanu Reeves is one of the nicest guys people say they've ever met. I do know that he donated a great deal of his salary from the Matrix films that he performed so brilliantly in. He donated a huge part of the money he earned from that film and gave it to the people that worked on the film as bonuses or whatever he saw fit. But because Keanu Reeves, I think, understands that money is a tool. Money pays bills. It alleviates financial stress, but it can also create more stress. I've always said all I wanted was enough to own a nice home, make sure the bills were paid, groceries were on the table, and maybe enough, to take a vacation once in a while, go to someplace I hadn't been, just for the experience of getting out and meeting new people, seeing different cultures. I've always had this thing. I've always wanted to visit Ireland. I've always wanted to see the UK, the United Kingdom, or Australia. I think Australia is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. They've got a unique and beautiful culture, and I love the way they talk. Right, Mike? I love that, and I think Britain is awesome. I think Germany. I'd love to see. I'd love to see Berlin. Maybe one day, but let's not forget what's really important. It's not the stack of greenbacks. It's the hearts in the people, the souls of the people that we love and we care about. And even though some of them may no longer be with us, their souls very much are. I can attest to that. Stacy Underwood Gullett can attest to that. Sharon Barron can attest to that. I've heard my mother's voice come through on a device, and she called me something that only she and I knew, a pet name, but she referred to me as that, and my dad. Now, either that was the greatest hoax ever perpetrated by any individual on me, or it was real. And I could hear her voice. Some people, the skeptics, will say, yeah, well, you hear what you want to hear. Yes, maybe. But whoever was speaking in her voice then knew what my mom called me. And it wasn't Chris. She had a pet name. There are people out there that you can reach out to if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling sad. Hell, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. When it comes to a human being's life, I'm never too busy to stop and say, thinking about you. And that's something else too. Those kind words. Hey, you look good today. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for giving me a text. Man. There was a person that I've known for quite a while sent me a text this evening. She said, I heard your voice again on a radio station. And I just couldn't help but think, I had a lot of conversations with this person in the past. And they were kind enough to say, I hold those conversations tight, hold them close. That made me smile. That little act of kind word. Did she offer to buy me a Ferrari? No. Lamborghini? No. So wait a minute, Chris. What you're saying is that even though somebody doesn't offer to do something for you materialistically, you can still feel good about it. Yes, the damn right. That's exactly what I'm saying. As a matter of fact, I would rather have a text like that over a brand new Lambo Diablo or a Ferrari 355 GTF or whatever, over a brand new Corvette. They make those things every day. They're machines. And as much as you may think you love them, and yeah, that's something else, had a Harley. Beautiful Harley. A lot of you saw it. Got rid of it. Why am I going to pay for something I'm not using? And did I like it? Yeah, it was a great bike. Got a great deal on it. And, if I ever buy another one, I'll go right back to where I got that one from because I was done right by those people. But my point is machines, things don't love you back. They won't respect you. They may be great machines, but that's where it ends. So, all this time I was justifying it by saying, well, that's my stress relief. That's how I deal with stress. That's how I do this. That's how I do that. It happens. We all look to justify something some way. But I'll tell you how I deal with stress. You're seeing it happen right now. There's this thing right here. Wait a minute. Turn it around. And it doesn't have to be a Rode. It doesn't have to be a Neumann. It doesn't have to be a Shure SMB7. I get to talk. And for whatever reason, a lot of you guys listen. And I'm glad you do. I'm grateful that you do. And it turns out that I may be doing a little more of that here and there, which is a great thing. But we all have our gifts. And some of those are different. Some people are still searching to find them. Some people know what they are, and yet they run from them. And some people know what they are, they've not figured out how to get it out there yet. Don't quit figuring it out. Quit doubting yourself. If God gave you a gift, He gave it to you for a reason. Use it. Don't doubt Him. Don't doubt yourself. You know, there's an adage out there I've long believed, actually a few. One of them is, you work like everything counts on you, and you pray like everything counts on God. Poof. It's amazing how that works. And another one is OQP. Only quality people. I let the naysayers, because once I was, 16, 15, and I had an adult who was a teacher, and she didn't say this directly to me. She said it to another person that was a teacher, I suppose. And she said, that guy's going to be on welfare before he's 20. He's not going to amount to anything. Well, I got to be on the air with Rick Dees. I got to be on the air, this region's #1 powerhouse radio station, the most listened to station in the region. I got to talk to Jack Nicholson. I got to do a lot of stuff. I got to hang out with Eddie Money. I got to hang out with Taylor Dane. All of these things I got to do. If you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans. My point is, don't let the naysayers dictate your outcome. Use them as motivation. Because I'm telling you right now, there are people out there successful. You know, Bill Gates was laughed at. So was Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was told he'd wind up worthless. Founder of Apple. Oh, no. Guy was a lot of things. A visionary, genius, great businessman. He had enough sense to realize, and I quote, "We don't hire smart people to tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they tell us what to do." Love that quote. Because that quote says so much to me. It tells me that when you surround yourself with OQP, only quality people, the benefits are going to be great. And what did J. Paul Getty say? If I appear larger than life, it is because I stand upon the shoulders of giants. OQP. Let the naysayers say what they want. It doesn't really matter. They're not the ones paying your bills. They're not the ones dreaming your dream. Put a date on it. That's when a dream becomes a goal. Put a date on it and watch what happens. Not a single person I know, I'm thinking, not a single person I know is not capable of miraculous and wonderful things. Or they can be terrible things. Which one will you feed? Which one will you choose? If you need help, get help. Get on the path. Get on the path to live the kind of life that you want to. Is it easy? No. If it were easy, everybody could do it. And along your way, you're going to develop thoughts. You're going to develop learning. You're going to develop an education. You're going to develop things that you can pass on down the line to somebody else that needs to hear it. Why in the blue hell do people pay so much for motivational speakers? Some of these guys make, and ladies, some of these folks, these people, make upwards of $5,000-$10,000 to show up at a seminar, spend 30 minutes, make you feel good about yourself, maybe give you a little pat on the back and a little head rub, and you go off thinking, "I can do this." And you know what? You're right, you can. Then you have some people that go off and think, "Oh, I can never do that." You know what? You're right, you can't. Anybody out there ever heard the name Henry Ford? Oh, you have? Hmm. I believe this with every fiber of my existence. Henry Ford said, "Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right." I'm here to tell you, you can. You are endowed with wonderful gifts. All you gotta do is harness it. But in order for you to harness it, you've gotta learn what you need to learn to make it become a reality. And in doing so, you're going to be able to pass along what you're learning to other people. It's called helping other people. If you wanna get what you want in life, make sure somebody else gets what they want. A really good friend of mine used to man, a guy hammered this into my head, and he was so right, and I'm not dropping his name strictly out of respect, even though I'm dying to, because he's a very, very good friend. But he looked at me once, he said, nobody cares about what you know until they know you care." I had a mind expansion headache sometime later because when I realized what he was speaking was the truth, I was like, when they know you care, so care about somebody. Be there for them. Expect nothing in return. There was this thing a while back, WWJD, what would Jesus do? A good thing. Ask yourself that question. When he came here, did he hang out with, the rich and the wealthy and the society and the famous? No. He hung out with the lepers. He went to the prostitutes. He went to people of no means. He went to the poor, the hungry, the broke, the destitute. And what was his message? His message was simple. It was hope and love. Now, if you want my opinion, that is a powerful message. Because of the way society is for a long time, I've laid back and I've been quiet about a lot of things. The Mountain Mysteries is not a political podcast, nor will it ever be. The Mountain Mysteries is about one thing. It's about people. The people who are directly affected, in other words, the victims, or the people who had this experience. And it's about their families. But maybe, just maybe, somewhere in there, if we're talking about these and something gets done that wasn't being done, and it leads to somebody being found or somebody being solved or a murder being solved, then maybe we are giving hope. Y'all want to know the reason? April Pennington was the reason, but the reason behind that was because when I wanted to bring this back up, maybe, just maybe, I saw a little bit of hope in Sharon's eyes. Or maybe in Dwayne's grandmother's eyes, or his dad's eyes, or his stepmom, or maybe when I talked to people about the Mothman of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, before we did that episode, somebody, because I wasn't sitting there looking at him going, maybe they thought somebody does believe me. Hope. Love. Some people say hope's a dangerous thing. It's not. Keep hope for yourself. Love other people. Be there when somebody needs you. And I know many times, trust me, I've seen it. It's happened to me. A lot of times it'll come at the most inconvenient times. You're right in the middle of trying to get this project done for work or trying to get this thing done or that thing done. And all of a sudden the phone rings and You hear somebody on the other end go, "Oh my God, can you just, I need help." And you're like, ugh, are you kidding me? Now? You know, I cannot tell you how many people that I've lost that I would give anything to hear from. I'd give anything to see that phone ring one more time. And my mom asked me, could I go to the grocery store for them? Or Ollie Little asked me, hey, man, have you got 5 minutes to kick something around? Whatever it may be. With Ollie, it was, whatever. I'd give anything for that. So when I get those calls now, and I do on occasion, it's not a thing that says, are you kidding me now? It's a thing that says, okay, what's up? What's going on? I try. Granted, sometimes, it doesn't always work out that way. Maybe you miss a phone call or something, or you try to get back hold of somebody and you wind up playing phone tag. That happens too. But at least try. Because you never know. It's like, again, in the chat room here, Jeremy said, sometimes the least likely person can change your day for the best. A simple smile or a hello from a stranger can brighten somebody's mood. That is so true. Absolutely. It's fact. I try to make it a point to look at people on occasion when I'm not trying to keep my head down. Somebody will say, hey, what does it cost me to look at them and give them a smile and say, hey, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Doesn't cost anything. But boy, can the rewards be great. We don't know, and I don't think that we will ever know, how we affect others when we do something like that until our lives are done and we're looking back on it. And maybe God's going over it with us saying, yeah, you remember when you helped that little girl buy a candy bar because she didn't have the money? It was $1 to you. To her, it was the world. Or when you helped that family because they were taking items back in the line at the grocery store and they didn't have enough to pay for it. And you found those items, they just laid them over to the side. You picked them up, you paid for them, you took them out there and said, hey, you guys forgot this. Oh, we weren't able to, no, you forgot it. Don't worry about it. See you later. Have a good one. Never let this hand know what this hand is doing. Don't do it to talk about it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. I don't know all the ones out there, but I know people that have done that. I can tell you the difference they made. I watched a woman sit and cry for 10 minutes over it. And it wasn't me that did it. No. But because of that, the simple gesture, she could feed her kids. That's powerful. So this Thanksgiving, tell me, what do you have to be thankful for? Let's focus on what we're thankful for. And if you feel like you don't have anything, then please reach out to somebody. Because you do. You do have things to be thankful for, I promise you. Excuse me. Every day that we're on this earth and draw another breath is another opportunity to help somebody else. And if we're not here for that, why? The Mountain Mysteries will return January 7th. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, on Christmas Eve, on Spotify and wherever else, we done a special reading of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. It'll be dropping on Christmas Eve at midnight. That means 12 a.m. December 24th. It'll be available. But in front of it, there's like, I don't know, 45 music or maybe Christmas music, 45 minutes of Christmas music. And yes, it's used with license and permission. That was an easy cakewalk. But it is It is something that I wanted to do for the kids. And the night before Christmas reading really turned out to be pretty cool. Look over a little bit of a scratchy horse voice, or, a voice that's a little hoarse. But when I see these kids, and I love reading to them, like these short stories, I love that. When I read a child a short story, it's like I get lost in their imagination. I do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, because yes, it does make me feel good. But two, my mom always said that she'd love to be a fly on the wall and listen to me read a short story to a group of children. I had no idea how much benefit that would give me. Funny how she knew. But mamas always know, don't they? What am I grateful for? Oh, wow. I don't even know where to start. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to have friends like you. I'm grateful for my brother, my aunt and uncle in Florida that I love dearly. I'm grateful for all of my family, my daughter, my son in law. Grateful for careers, grateful for friends in those careers, grateful for the ability to be able to help somebody on occasion whenever God sees fit. Grateful for a home. Grateful that I was able to buy Thanksgiving dinner because, trust me, you didn't want me making that. Not a good thing. I'm grateful for you for listening. I always said if I had 2 or 3 listeners to the podcast, I'd keep it going. Turns out we've got a lot more than that. Because these people that we talk about, these things, these events, they matter. Nothing matters more than the people. But it's something. It's something to behold when you get somebody walk up to you and say, "You're the guy that does that podcast. Yeah, that's it. You're the guy that does that podcast thing. The mysteries of the mountains, the tree diggers, the shin diggers, the mountain mysteries. Yeah. Oh yeah, is that what it's called? Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah." Cracks me up sometimes, but you know what? I'm grateful because all I got to do is say, "What do you think about April Pennington?" Oh, they know who she is. What do you think about Dwayne Lovelace? Do you listen to the one with Ed and Lorraine Warren? How about Arn Johnson? They know who these people are because they've heard it. And when I get other podcasters looking at me and just saying, "Man, what you do is freaking phenomenal," it's not me. Again, if I seem larger than life, I stand on the shoulders of giants. I learned these things from so many other people throughout the course of radio. My son in law, my daughter, they make me sound good. That is the gift from God. The ability, the timing. I'm grateful for a lot because a lot is more than I ever deserved. But yet, God loves us enough to see fit to say, "You know what? I'm going to give it to you. These things are yours." And what we do with those are a gift back to Him. I do believe that. Um, Thank you, Tony. Tony said, "Family and friends like us." I want to acknowledge Amanda, who's in. And she's right. She made a comment, "Love and respect goes a long way." Sure does. Respect goes so far, and so does love. And, here's the thing about this. This is a point before I'll jump off here, and then I'll give you the schedule on what we're doing with the videos. But, it's one thing for me to look at, and I'm gonna pick somebody out of here. Jeremy. It's one thing for me to look at Jeremy. and say, "Man, I really respect you." It's something else entirely for me to prove it. If you don't walk the walk, then don't talk the talk. When you say you respect somebody, then do it until they give you a reason not to. Most people I know that I've paid that respect to, they've never given me a reason not to. This may be the last live video that we do for a spell, maybe. The holidays are coming up. Got a lot of things going on in studio. Um, a lot of things that are happening that are very good and a powerful force. Keep getting asked this one too. Are you going to do the follow up on April Pennington? Yes. Waiting for a few more things to fall into place. My sis was the reason this got started. I'm not related to her by blood, but she's a sister nonetheless. My thought and my prayers and my hopes are that the rest of this year, God blesses you and protects you and your family. And next year, let's just hope 2022 doesn't look at 2021 and say, hold my beer, because I'm really done with it. We all are. But we trudge through it, and until God says it's time to go home, we're here for a reason. Everybody is here for a reason. Everybody has purpose. Everybody has a purpose. And whatever you're going through right now, that's strengthening you to fulfill that purpose. And I can say that about every single one of us. Everybody. Because I do know that the God that I serve makes no mistakes. Not a one. That's what burns my ass when somebody says, oh, the child was a mistake. Child wasn't no mistake. You running that cake hole is a mistake. Every child has a purpose. Every man, woman, and child under the sun in this time, at this moment, has a purpose. Don't you doubt it. And if you think you don't, that's a mistake, because you do have a purpose. And you are good enough. You are above good enough. You set the bar for what good enough should be. I promise you that. Every single one of you have that ability. I cannot begin to tell you one last thing that I'm thankful for. I guess I can't tell you enough how thankful I am that you let me come into your homes or on your phones or wherever it is that you're watching this, and you let me talk and you share your thoughts in the chat room. Can't tell you how much that means to me. I'm very, very thankful for that. I hope that God blesses and keeps every single one of you safe, sound, and happy. The Mountain Mysteries gatherings will probably come back here in a few weeks. Like I said, check out the newest one on the Spotify. It's a chill about a ghost at a hotel, and I am sorry, remember the name of said hotel. The Hotel del Coronado. Had to do that in my best, most interesting man in the world voice. I don't always stay at hotels, but when I do, I stay at the most haunted freaking one I can find, the Hotel del Coronado. Stay haunted, my friends. So, yeah, check it out. It's available on Spotify. We will be returning January 7th with some new episodes. Some heartbreaking and some a little lighter-hearted. And there may be something else in the works. Maybe, just maybe, a podcast of a different nature coming up, perhaps. And something a little more, shall we say, terrestrial. I'll leave it at that. I love every single one of you. A happy Thanksgiving. If I don't get to see you before then, which I hope I will, but Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. May God bless you and keep you. And until the next time we see each other, stay mysterious.
From one coast to the other, mysteries are everywhere, and we will continue to pursue the answers to those questions and more. Please share, like, and rate the Mountain Mysteries podcast and tell your friends to tune in on Facebook or YouTube. The Mountain Mysteries gatherings are each Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to support the Mountain Mysteries search and help these families, join us on Patreon, or you can make a one-time donation as well. The Mountain Mysteries and the Mountain Mysteries gatherings are property of the Pantry Studios and Chris Slone, who writes and produces the content. If you would like to reach out to the Mountain Mysteries, please email us at pantrystudio@yahoo.com. Until next time, my friends, stay mysterious.
A Pantry Studio production.